Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. This evening we're having a look at Jouef STVA car transporter wagon. You can see I've already dismantled it because I had to clean it. It was very dirty, so I gave it a good clean using I did it here in the studio. I just did the job here on the table and I used the LCD cleaning solution. I could have even done it on the sink with some just lukewarm water, and the toothbrush was very dirty, in particular underneath, but I decided that I would just do it here. And it's okay, it's definitely cleaner than what it was, and there's still some traces of dirt, but it doesn't really matter. It was really very dirty. So I received this wagon. This is underneath it says made in France, Jouef for playcraft, so this was also in the playcraft range. I've got quite, I can't remember, 4, 5 of these. You've never seen them because I've never run any car transporter trains on the layout yet on video, and they're among the things that I still have to show you. So there's still some unpublished material, some unpublished rolling stock, and the other ones that I've got have got metal wheels. So this evening we're going to repair this and we're going to see about the wheels, because despite Jouef plastic wheels being really very smooth running wheels because they've got metal axles, right, you can see metal axles, plastic wheels do tend to spread dirt around the track, and if I can, I like to replace them. And I've got quite a few Jouef wheels to acquired, bought some second hand, so I've got quite a selection of Jouef wheels that we can actually use. Of course, Jouef wheels have got that little Jouef problem that they lose their gauge. Look at that one there, it's away with the fairies. So the only way to fix the gauge is to regulate. The plastic ones don't have this nasty habit, but the metal ones do. So my technique is to regulate the gauge using my vernier calipers, and then use a little ball bearing compound solution. Here I've got some in a wee jar because on one occasion, I think I've mentioned this before, I squirted too much out, and I managed to salvage it and put it in this little jar. So usually when I'm working, I'm finishing what's in the jar, but we'll see if we manage to get around to doing that in this video. It might be a two-part video, but this is anyway the intro. When did I get this particular car transporter wagon? Excuse me, I'm having a glass of water. Spot of water. Wet my whistle. And when I bought the Kleinbahn D120 locomotive on Vinted, for some reasons the seller was very late at sending. We were very close to the deadline when the sale was cancelled, and when he sent me the locomotive, which I paid, I found this car transporter in it and this nice car transporter here. So they were a gift, sort of gift to, also because he wasn't answering messages and things. Probably was very busy, he had some work problems. I mean, he wasn't a professional seller on the Vinted platform, and to excuse himself, he added these two very welcome gifts. So I gave him a very good review and thanking him also for the gifts. They were very welcome, and so now I have 3 large car transporters, and I think this Jouef one here is the longest one. And of course this has got small diameter Jouef wheels, which of course being Jouef wheels, they've lost their gauging. Look at that. So this is another. These have been lying around on the desk for months, and really for months, because this stuff has been around. It arrived in spring, so what I'm doing these days, I've got to continue doing some work on the 90 by 100 layout. I've also got to do some work on the Brunel layout, on the not layout side but the underneath, because I want to make that same kind of 90-degree frame underneath under the layout to stop it from slipping off the trolley. Refer to my previous video on the 90 by 100 layout. And one of my students, he in his hobby he does woodworking as a hobby, and he was here for lessons the other day, and he said, I'll cut you the wooden profile you need, because he salvaged some very good quality wood from some pallets at work. So next Thursday he's going to bring me the wood. So anyway, this is one car transporter, but tonight we're having a look at this one. This is very nice. This is worth, and we'll do a nice review of this one here, because it's really a very nice model. So it's been lying around on a desk. Maybe you've even seen it in the background, and I'm trying to get, I've got too many things lying around and too many projects, too many open projects. So what's wrong with this one? It's broken here, here, and here. So tonight, right now, we're going to put some glue and glaze on it. I'm going to use glue and glaze because I don't know if this plastic will work with Tamiya cement. It might and it might not. It's always touch and go, different types of plastic. So in doubt, I'll use a PVA glue. Not only is cracked here, but it's slightly damaged. I think the PVA will do the job. The PVA will do the job very well. So let's use glue and glaze, my favourite. So, okie doke. So let's get this done, and then we'll see if we can open these bogies without the things cracking. Because hard brittle plastic might not be very happy. Need a piece of cardboard. Here's a bit of cardboard to put my glue on. Just a spot as usual. Spot. Okay, and a nice old toothpick, and that'll do the job. Okay, so let's begin with this side here. I mean, it's an in-service car transporter. A bit of warping and bending can be part of the picture, so we don't need to be too fussy. So let's just put a spot in there like that. The great stuff of glue and glaze is that it's transparent, fully repainting. You can be painted over, no problem at all. And another bit here. One of the reasons I cleaned this was very, very dirty. I cleaned it with LCD screen cleaning solution, mainly because it was the time of the day when I was doing things in here, and I just cleaned it with that and with an old paintbrush. Okay, see if this is going to collaborate. Staying. Okay, so that's one done. Let's do his mate over here and see what happens. I think it should be good. Let's just put a spot of PVA here, of glue and glaze, like that. Can't see what I'm doing. It's getting cold here in northeastern Italy. We've had snow in the mountains, and it was -1 last night, and will be -1 tonight, and tomorrow the maximum temperature will be 8 and 0, and I've been feeling it. I've been full of sore bits, because when it snows, even if it snows miles away, I can feel the snow. And the weather is okay, perfect. And it was a nice clear day, no fog, that's pleasant. And yesterday was a very nice day. It was a really dry wind. It was really nice. And generally I don't like humidity very much, and I have some problems where humidity is definitely not my friend, and I live in a very damp part of Italy, so a very damp part of Europe, so that's great, isn't it? So this one doesn't want to stay put, the XYZ here. Let's see how we can. This other one here is very nice, very well behaved. This mister here doesn't want to cooperate, or doesn't want to hold. And I can't even put something in here to wedge it on there, because then that one it'll push out, which is not really a great idea. Unless I use one of my favourite clothes bags. Maybe one of these might do the job. My fingers, of course. Let's see if we'll manage to do this. And hold this, press it out. The glue is starting to set already, so. And the important thing is that it's not to be broken off, or looking absolutely downright ugly. It's just a plastic, a very lightweight plastic car transporter. One of the reasons I'm thinking to change the wheels is also this is very, very light. This is really too light, and they can derail, jumping points and things are not very stable. So one solution is to put a nice bit of ballast underneath in the form of a tyre weight. That's one idea. But the ones I've got have metal wheels, and having metal wheels, I have more weight. So weight right where we need it, down on wheels. So that's why I'm thinking to change the wheels. So the first things first is to see if we can convince these to come out, to open, without things cracking and getting broken. That would be a bad idea. There are still some dirty points on this thing here, but we'll give it a better clean once it's ready. Once it's finished, it's glued and everything. Okay, I think that'll have to do, won't it? It's not perfect, but it's not bad either. Unless, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to do this. Watch, take the clothes bag. I would have liked to wedge it in here somehow to make it sort of wedge up the way, you know. We might manage to trick it. No, we're not tricking anything, we're causing a disaster. Because we just need something to stay. Oh, I'm silly. And all we need to do is this, watch. There we go. Let's add another spot of the glue. Where's the glue? Taking a clothes bag. Let's make sure there's no glue where we don't want it to be. Any of this stuff is water soluble, so I'm just going to take a clothes bag and stick it right there. Bob's your uncle. That will set, and it won't really glue. There won't be problems with the clothes bag because that should do the job. So that's done. So we'll let this thing here set and we'll move it out of the road. Out of the road there. Right, let's have a look at these axles. Because these are very smooth running axles. Look at them, they're fantastic stuff. Huh? They're really good, but they are very dirty, really very dirty. So, and they're very dirty and they're not really easy to clean because they're plastic. So my plan is to put so in this case here, 8 nice metal wheels on them. I have some other Jouef rolling stock that I'm toying with the idea of changing the wheels, but some coaches are good enough, and the idea, see, all of these are, apart from the fact they're very, very dirty, but they've all got the Jouef problem. There we go, there's the Jouef problem. Slack wheels. Slack wheels, they're all problematic, each pair of them. So here we've got, so 2 and 4 wheels we need. Okay, look. There's 4 wheels. So no, that's a Lima set. That's Lima. That's a Lima, and I've only got one Lima set, which is extremely annoying because Limas and Jouefs are not 100% compatible. Mainly not so much the diameter, or they are compatible. Maybe the Jouefs might be a little bit wider in diameter. I even did a video with these, but it's mainly the length of the axle, you see? The length of the axle. The Jouef axle is longer. So if you want to fit Jouef axles into something that's not designed for them, you have to take your file and widen the axle box a bit, or a cutter knife, and then you can fit them in. So let's pop this one away. I know this is a Lima one. I'll have to sooner or later source a Lima something for spare parts, and get another Lima wheel, and then we could maybe put some nice metal wheels on something. Oh, this is also not standard. This is also non-standard. This is not standard either. This is standard. This is a bag of the non-standard wheels. I don't know what make these ones are, but the length of the axle says Jouef to me, and the slide around, it's losing its gauging, so it might very well be Jouef. If it's losing its gauging, it's a Jouef. Maybe a more recent Jouef, but okay. Here's one. Here's a real true Jouef wheel set. There we go. Pure Jouef. Rubbish, which is completely slack, and it has to be fixed up. So this is a classic case of Jouef metal wheel set, because it's too, but this is an easy fix. You just use ball bearing, compound, and you're okay. So we do have 4 wheels, this and this one here, we'll put them away. So I think we'll definitely change the wheels on this, just to not, much easier to clean these, and they're really very smooth running, and we won't go around making a mess of the track. So these are all Jouef wheels here, and these 2 are a Lima and something else, which I suspect to be a Jouef. So I'm just going to drop them all in there and put this stuff back in the spare parts box. Right, let's take these wheels out And on the very first car transporter wagon that I bought, I think in 2022, at the time when I opened it up, it cracked. The bogie cracked, and I had to glue it on again. And I think it was one of the times I had to use super glue. And so I want to be very careful now that I'm opening this. So let's do it. Let's do it and see what happens. So these are the wheels that we're going to use. So these have to be cleaned. We'll just stick them in here out the road. And now we'll try and get these old plastic ones out. The plastic ones will eventually be used for as put them on wagons or something. They're black, so they maybe be a wee bit more realistic, but running a model railway is a compromise between realism and functionality at my house. So if something is functional and works, it's okay to put the shiny wheels visible then. If I wanted, I could paint them, I could do all sorts of things to the things, but okay, that's the plastic one out. They're not bad, these plastic wheels, they're good. They're really good because they have metal axles, steel axles, metal axles, they're good quality. But they are dirty, filthy and too light. So we want to have something a little bit heavier. I find them nicer, much nicer than Lima plastic wheels. Lima plastic wheels are utter rubbish. While Lima metal wheels are really super top quality. They're the best. Among the best. In fact, Lima, talking about Lima, Lima is actually an acronym which stands for, what was it? I can't remember right now, but lavorazioni industriali, L is lavorazioni, I is industriali, M is metalliche, and E I don't remember. So metal industrial processing, but well, I'll tell you in the following video. That's what Lima stands for. And Lima was set up at the end of World War II they set up the company, they established the company in Vicenza because there was a lot of reconstruction work after the war because the Italian state railways were heavily damaged by bombing. And Italy also received aid with the Marshall Plan, and they set up they established the company 1940, immediate post-war, maybe even 45 or 46, because they were hoping and planning to win a tender for coach maintenance, rolling stock repairs, refurbishment. But then it didn't work out, so they decided to recycle themselves, making small metal parts and toys. And they began with toys, toy cars, because after the end of the war there was a lot of demand, and then gradually Italy, there was an economic miracle in the 1950s, and that's the history of Lima. But we can talk about the history of Lima in detail. I'll have to do some research. One of my colleagues, her mother was one of my colleagues. She runs a translation agency in Vicenza, and her mother for a period worked at Lima, and she told me that we were talking about it. She knows about the channel as well, so she told me that her mother was very, very happy. It was a very nice company to work at. Really very nice. She enjoyed working at Lima. Then for various reasons she had to change job, but the job she got after that was never never the same, wasn't the same as working in the Lima factory. When Lima was still in Vicenza, then Lima moved to Isola Vicentina afterwards. But her mother wasn't working there anymore. Okay, so we managed to get these off. These need a good clean as well, but these wheels need to be gauged properly. I don't have a wheel gauging tool. I should get one. Yes, I should. Usually what I do with my vernier calipers, I check the gauge of a wheel set that I know to be correct, and then I simply reset this using the calipers. That's my technique. Okay, that's that for the moment. We'll have to make sure this stuff here is setting. I think it's doing the job, the clothes peg. And tomorrow we'll see that I'll dedicate another video to this job here. We'll do a second video on re-gauging Jouef wheels, which I've probably already, I think I've already made a video, such a video, but we're gonna make another one just to show you my technique and the way I work. Okay, cheerio, and see you next time. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and share the video, and please let me know your comments. A bit of a, I hadn't done a proper maintenance video for some time, so I hope you liked it. Cheerio.